Okay, we have model year 2001 Toyota Kluger with a 2.4 liter engine. I think it's the 2AZ FE engine. The complaint with it were multiple. It had a check engine light. Ivan discovered the oxygen sensor was bad. He changed that. The code for the oxygen sensor went. There was one for the engine coolant temperature sensor. The wiring was broken. Fixed that. Right now, it has two habits. Hard starting when you crank it. Number two, intermittent misfiring. So going into the engine control module to check for codes. This is a Kluger. No, it's a Kluger. This is a 2001 model. Laser cruise, no. Oh, it's giving me so many options that I need to select without push start. Okay. I want to go straight to the engine control module. I want to read codes. If I find any for the coil on plug, I'll ignore those for now because we've been we touched those a few moments ago. It still has a intake air temperature and engine coolant temperature sensor, oxygen camshaft position sensor. That's interesting. Igniter circuit malfunction. I'll ignore that too. Okay. The one for the camshaft position sensor is interesting, but what I do for now is go back, run the engine, and check live data. Engine is running, but very poorly. It's misfiring. So I'll go to the custom data list. I want to see fuel system 1 and the fuel trims. Okay, that's what I want to see for now. Okay, fuel trims don't look so bad at idle. Short term a bit negative, but drifting around so much. Long term is fixed at around 6%. So okay, I need to go back because I realized I need to see the RPM data as well. Engine speed data, I need that. Engine speed. Okay. Okay, so idling at 750 up and down because it's misfiring, all the way to 600, even 500, then back up to 700, even 800. The RPM speeds are all over the place. I'm just going to run it faster now, see if there are any changes in fuel trims, and they all go positive. At around 2500 RPM. I see a total of about 12 or 13% fuel trims. When I take the foot off the pedal, I begin seeing negative on the short term. So basically we have near normal total fuel trims at 2500. It doesn't look so bad, but it drifts up and goes and totals between 10 to 13%. Okay, because I've already recorded what codes I had initially, I decided to erase the codes and see which one comes back immediately the engine runs, and we have a P1300 which is igniter circuit malfunction. Now it's not that's a non-specific coil on plug code, so it's saying from my interpretation of that is the coil we are having issues on all the coils, on all the 4 coils on plug randomly, and it matches with the engine misfiring. I don't know if you can see the engine RPM, the tachometer. The engine RPM is walking all over the dial. Stabilized a bit now, but see that drops a bit, then comes up again. I hope you can see from the camera from the amount of shaking, because I'm resting my hands on the steering wheel, so all that shaking is from the engine misfiring. So we have clearly misfire at idle, but none. It's not misfiring at high RPMs. Quite smooth. But as soon as the RPM drops, it begins misfiring. Sound is good. This one is good. This one is good. Cracked. No crack. No crack. No crack. Why? After changing the ignition coil on cylinder number 1, that ignition coil was cracked. We now have long-term fuel trims staying steady at 9 RPM. The short term is playing around a lot. The misfiring has gone down a bit. The short term is playing around a lot, but I just wanted to show you when you increase the engine speed, you have a correction of near zero total fuel trims. Well, it's like -3 or 4 total. Sometimes it goes from total of 0 to say -4, 0, -1, and I take the foot off the pedal and wait a little bit. See that the fuel trims are now positive on long term. The short term fuel trims are working all over the place, but I have a suspicion this could be a vacuum. This could be a vacuum leak causing this vacuum leak on the manifold. Because see, the total is positive, say 11 or 9 now. And I increase the RPMs. They reduce somewhat, the long term reduces somewhat. That points to me to a vacuum leak. I think this is, we have a vacuum leak on the manifold on this engine. No, anyway, should make a change. Jukira tezagala kuyita ku alternator. Ne shield yennyini yino baagirya. Ne baddamu ne bagiyungirira wano ate nejje eyita ku alternator kwennyini.
Kino kyokka ki disturbing signal.
Just sitegeere ne socket yo yaaki.
Ye yino suppose oyingira ku original piika.
Ate eno nga yo nnyimpi.
Anti kyesimanyi kiki yakola wano.
Yayiya piika.
Kati ye aba yali amanyi piika etambula nga nno mukka. Nga kati ntulabeko kye yakola wano. Kubanga njagala kulaba ku bukonekito obuli kuno bufaanana. Bulinga obuva mu socket.
Buva mu socket.
Kati ate buyimpa wa butya nga buva mu socket.
Yayiyizawo piika.
Buli muntu buvaamu kuyiiya.
Ng'obuwanvu si bwawe naayo.
Naye nga symptoms zetulina za biwayawaya. Ebiwayawaya bitakwata
bulungi. Yandibadde ginne waayo eyingira. Singa eba eyise mu kifo omanyi no piika teyite.
Kyogamba nti waya yajja etambula ne kubaako kasoketi wano aka male. Ye ke yakutulako.
Eno piika ogiraba teyite eno gye yayita. Eyite wano olaba wano. Wano weefubutuka. Olengera kano kaleerwa akali wano kano. mweyita ne gyepininga kati kano ka female
Pia zisa wa.
Piga twende. Aha, those are signals now. You pika. Jaga jikindi.
era nengeri gyefa musigino giraba
That is okay. Awebe chusa awali erinnya eggwanvu. That large tooth.
transport bakide boli jamu mitwalo 3 transport nakikolako
Neno nyenyenyenye ku waya ya sense labe waliwo ekibeerawo. Aiva nyenya ku waya ya sense. Ojinyenya Jinyenyenye mukulabe. Yo byonna binyenye naddala eya signal ndaba oba something changes. Tewetaaga jinyenya nnyo, just a little. Nyenya naye ate okimanyi ne problem yaffe yagenza okugyako ka miss keekubamu, which could be another issue, especially coil emu okuba nti yamenyese. Okay.
Seta kati 10
zikiza okuba tulabe because problem ya hard start kati eringa egenze. Julie, emotoka yaka bulungi kati. Zikiza? Again? Kati nonye cause ya misfire. Also I wanted to show you that the P1300 is not coming back anymore. Okay, here is again to show you that the P1300 is gone. Engine is running. You can see the tachometer. And you can see we don't have any fault codes. Hey, kayatika. Gugina maso. I think this is a temporary fix. Wanagireta enkya
tuteekeko akalagabe
tujja kuteekerako ddala clear oba tutwale kuteekako kapya. That one is broken so much.
kitukozesa
Naman. Ndiyagala genda kulya kyamisa. After Ivan closed off the suspected vacuum leaks, you can see immediately that the fuel trims are corrected. In fact, they are still correcting. They are still in the, but we caught this at the tail end of it. It's more or less done the correcting, and the fuel trims are back down to almost ideal. Going to rev the engine up. Oh, it is still correcting on the higher RPMs. See that? That is correction in progress. We have a fix for the fuel trims on the engine. That one I can confirm. The correction is still in progress. You can see the long-term fuel trims are reducing. Eventually they will come down to very near zero when the vehicle is driven for extended periods. But that confirms to me that we fixed the vacuum leak problem. And if I go back to looking for diagnostic codes, I'm looking out for the P1300 regarding the coil number 1 fault. See, we don't have any fault code left. The customer will bring the vehicle back tomorrow, so Ivan takes the timing covers off and redoes the engine timing, or the valve timing, because the car still feels a bit weak under load. Okay, so after catching everything that we have caught with this vehicle, I still wasn't convinced with the mechanical end of things, specifically the timing, the ignition spark. At what point is it arriving relative to top dead center for each cylinder? So I went ahead and put the coil on plug tester on each of the 4 coils and discovered that the coils were actually working, so we actually had spark on all the 4 cylinders. And then I threw into the mix the high amp current probe, just so that I could sync the ignition sparks to compression. Now this is for cylinder number 1. You can see clearly that the spark is arriving. Well, we have 2 issues. Number 1 is that the spark is on and off when you're cranking. You see I only have 1 spark on the screen. I should have a spark every 4 of these humps. Like if I had 1 here, I should have another 1 on this hump. I should have 1 here. I should have another 1 here, and so on. So clearly the spark is missing most of the time when you're cranking, and also it is arriving. This is cylinder number 1. Spark is arriving clearly long after top dead center. Moving on to cylinder number 2. Oh, What happened there? I seem to have lost my okay, I think I had quite a large gap in the document before the next image, which is that is cylinder number 2. Again, spark is arriving long after top dead center. Cylinder number 3, it is arriving, the spark is arriving before top dead center. That's better than the 2 previous ones, but still not good. The spark should arrive right at the tip, right at the top of those waves at the crest. So that means for number 3, the spark is arriving somewhere before top dead center. Still not a good thing. For number 4, it's arriving after top dead center, but a little bit better than the 2 earlier ones. Remember, 1 and 2, spark was arriving well after top dead center. For 3, it was arriving somewhere before. For 4, it is arriving somewhat after top dead center. So clearly we have mechanical issues with this engine. I've been told it was repaired previously in another garage, and the cylinder head was changed. Now, maybe they didn't get the timing right. Maybe there's an issue with the cam lobes. Maybe there's an issue with the camshafts themselves. This engine will need to be opened up and examined for mechanical faults or improper timing. That's the verdict on this. Fix the engine mechanical timing issues first. For now, I'm convinced that's what is causing the misfires. As for the hard start, we've resolved that because we discovered that the wires to the crank position sensor were damaged, and they were laying against the, worse still, they were laying against the alternator, which has a very big magnetic field, a very strong magnetic field around it, and that corrupted the crankshaft position sensor signals and could lead to the intermittent hard starts. Since we moved the wire away from the alternator, the hard start issue has gone away, but we need to fully repair that wiring and put the sheath back where the previous garage, the guys at the previous garage chopped it off. They didn't know it was that important, but it is very important, as we found out in this case.